Hello everyone, this is one third of the O.C.D crew, and you are listening to the O2 Spot, where we solve common problems with uncommon solutions based off science. So this is week 4 of the series of going through different things. Last week we spoke about pelvis placement, and how that might affect tension within the hamstrings, tension within the pelvis muscles, and how, depending on where the pelvis is placed, your body might interpret that as a dangerous situation and trying to change that. If you're not too sure, if you want to listen to it more, go back to the video. It'll be right there. It'll be somewhere. I don't know. It'll be around here somewhere. And you can go back and listen to it. Okay, so this is week 4, all right? And week 4 is based off of posture. All right, so I get a lot of questions about posture. A lot of people come in, what's posture? What does that mean? And stuff of that nature, and particularly about slouching and standing up straight. So I will make this disclaimer now. Standing up straight or straight, erect posture, like military posture, is destroying your back. It's bad posture. Okay, so I understand what the common thought is about what posture is supposed to look like, but I'm telling you right now, the more upright you are, the more your lower back will dislike you. And I'll explain that a little bit further. So in this episode, we're going to talk about posture and how your posture can cause stress on your body, particularly if you're staying in one posture, one position for everything you do, and how this can cause lower back pain, and how your brain is trying to stop you from falling forward when you're in this erect posture. I'll explain it further. Okay, so before we get going on, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Okay, if you have any comments and stuff like that, please leave it at the bottom. You can shoot me an email. I'll give all that information at the end. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So I have a couple of questions. I had a lot of questions actually on posture. So I only limited it to maybe a few of them, and I thought that would be prevalent to the discussion we're having today, okay? So let's get into the first one. So the first question I have from a client I had is my poor posture causing my back pain? So that is a very vague question. So the first thing I would have to say is define poor posture. So poor posture means worse than usual or undesired. That's the word actually, poor. All right, unusual is worse than usual or desirable standard. All right, so that's the definition of poor. So if you say poor posture, I'm going to use that definition as an unusual or non-expected position that your body's supposed to be in. So based off that definition, no, your posture is not poor. But you being in an erect or extended posture is not healthy for you. So let me clarify that a little bit more. You staying in that erect posture, the erect extended base posture for everything you do is not healthy. You need to be able to oscillate in and out, like I said previously in other videos. So your spine is meant to move, okay? It's meant to flex. Flexion is not bad. It's meant to extend. Extension is not bad necessarily. But if you're staying in one thing, if you can't get in and out, you can't transition in and out of these postures, then that's bad. Okay, so going into if you're staying in this erect posture, that you're always upright, shoulders back, chest out, and stuff like that, yes, that looks aesthetically pleasing to the common eye. However, what's going on in your body is something different. So what you're doing is, so if this is the front of your body, this is the back of your body, what you're doing is I'll do it this way. This is the front, this is the back. So what you're doing is you're flexing, and this is your lower back. You're flexing, you're putting excessive pressure on the vertebral bodies, particularly the facet joints. That's a column in the back of your spine. You're putting pressure on that, and it's not meant to weight. It's not meant to bear weight. Your vertebral body is meant to bear weight, not the facet joint. It doesn't bear weight very well. So when you're doing that excessive extension, you're putting your back in that position, or the weight is on that. So to get into that position right there, a lot of things happening throughout the chain. Most likely, most people pelvis are anterior tilted. Just a couple of things. The front of your body is a little heavier than the back of your body, so that causes your front of your pelvis to bias anteriorly. So in order to kind of counterbalance that, if you're going to bias everything anteriorly, you're going to be in an extension pattern. Gravity is going to pull you forward and down. So you're basically going to have this perpetuation of falling down. So your body the body being intelligent is going to find methods of how to combat that. And one of the first methods is to kind of push your toes into the ground, hence your calves being tight, hence your quads being tight. And push your toes in the ground to keep you upright, push you away from the ground. Your quads help push you away from the ground. But when you're doing that and you're falling forward, yes, the bottom of your body is definitely straight, but the top of your body is leaning forward. So I'll go to another example, my hand. So this part is the hand, this part is the upper body, right? So if I am pushing, everything is straight, but I'm going down. So what I have to do with my lower back, this is my back, I have to kind of get this kind of banana boat kind of situation where I kind of bring my chest up, bring my ribs up, and everything is upright to keep my eyes on the horizon, because that's one of the body's main jobs, is to kind of keep you on the horizon and make sure nothing is coming to eat you. All right, so that's important to the body still. But at that rate, your body is compensating other structures. So when you're in this erect thing, shoulders back, ribs flare, you are putting your ab muscles, particularly your obliques, on stretch, okay? Eccentrically stretch. You're stretching out. You're adding tension in the obliques, but they are not in a position to exert force properly. Because they're not in a position to exert force properly, you can't transfer ground reaction from the foot to your upper extremities, which is one of the main properties that the oblique, particularly the abs as well, do. Excuse me. So because you're in this perpetuating kind of erect posture like that, you have your obliques on stretch, you have your ribs flaring all out, and now you are in a position not to be able to transfer force efficiently throughout your body, and hence you have back pain. When you stay in this position, you can't get out of this position. This position is used for everything you do, hence you're going to have serious pain and stuff of that nature. Okay, so you have to learn how to get in and out of these situations. Don't use one posture for every situation. Okay, so posture is definitely a transitional type of thing. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, the next question is, why do I feel more lower? Well, let me read that again. Why do I feel more lower discomfort when I sit up straight? Okay, so I kind of touched on this in the previous question, but once again, when you are upright straight, you are in this banana boat kind of thing. You put a lot of pressure on the lower back of your spine, and your rib, when you have a rib flare and you're in this extended position, and your pelvis is tilted forward, you're basically your front of your body. So think of this as a scissor. This is your pelvis. This is your pelvis. This is your rib cage. They're kind of like scissoring away. They're not facing each other. So what you need to do is kind of get your obliques to come on to kind of get these two bones to face each other, so you're able to transfer force from the ground to your upper extremity more efficiently. So when you're in this sit up straight military type of posture, you're not doing that. Your pelvis is most likely tipped forward. You need to be able to posterior tilt your pelvis, and you need to be able to do other things with your rib cage, basically get them down and in, internally rotated to get these bones facing each other, so your body is able to sense and read that, hey, these bones are facing each other. I can use this muscle we call the external obliques to be able to contract and keep these bones together and transfer force efficiently and be able to breathe through all that as well. If you can't do that, that adds a significant amount of stress to the body. Stress basically is anything is your body trying to handle gravity and air pressure. So if it's trying to do that all the time. So if you cannot handle gravity and air pressure efficiently, particularly air pressure during certain breathing cycles, your body is being stressed out more than it's being handled, and you're not giving it the proper opportunity to be able to regulate this battle of gravity and air pressure constantly, because you're in a position where your obliques or your core muscle is not in a position to able to regulate and be able to handle that stress efficiently. So you need to be able to get these two bones facing each other, and you need to be able to sense different things. You need to have multiple reference centers so you can sense different things. When you're in one posture, you sense one thing. The goal of the human body is to oscillate. I will repeat that till my face turn blue. The goal of the human body is to oscillate. You must be able to shift in and out, mechanically, neurologically as well. You need to be able to shift in and out of positions. If you can't do that, then you're going to increase your stress level. You're going to increase your tonicity. You're going to increase the amount of tension and the amount of tension you are bringing to every task. So, for example, if a task is only requiring a tension of 3, all right, but you're in this position, you're bringing a tension level of 8 to a task for 3. You're just kind of bringing like a hammer to kill an ant. That's just overkill. It's not necessary. You need to be able to regulate intensity from high to low and low to high based on the task. So sitting is not necessarily a high intensity task. So you need to have a low intensity kind of effort for your body to maintain this position. But if you're stuck in this position, you only sense one thing, they're only going to become more sensitive to fire these muscles more and more and more, and you're not allowing them to take a break. When muscles don't take a break, they cause pain, they cause other stuff that goes along with that. So the key there is you have to be able to oscillate and get in and out of this position willingly, okay, easily and willingly. All right. I hope that answers that question. It's very long-winded, but yes, when you sit upright, you just have a lot of pressure in your lower back. Okay, next question. My lower back is always so tight. Excuse me. It feels like it's working all day long. How do I get them to relax? Wow, okay, so that's a very, very good question. So when you are in this upright position, yes, your lower back is working all day long. They don't turn off. You don't give them the opportunity to turn off. So how this works is your pelvis. Once again, I'm using my hand as a pelvis. This is the back of the pelvis. This is the front of the pelvis. This is the top. For my thumbs, the top, pinky's the bottom. So your lower back is attached to the top back of the pelvis, right? So think of it as a nice long string. Nice long string. So when this pelvis is tipped forward, you can see how it puts more tension on that string. It pulls the string down with it because it's here and it pulls it down. When it goes forward, it pulls it down because of gravity. So when your pelvis is in this position, your brain senses that and it reads tightness. It reads tightness in this muscle because it's on concentric, it's pressurized, it's impinged. We're gonna call it impinged. I like that word for this muscle. It's pressurized and it's compressed in this position, it's shortened in this position, and it kind of stays there if you do not change your pelvis. Okay? Excuse me. And you do not change your pelvis. So when you can't posteriorly tilt your pelvis to give your lower back a chance to kind of elongate or relax, then these muscles do everything. They kind of lock that pelvis in, and you sense everything, and you do everything with an anterior pelvic tilt. All right. So how you combat that, you need to use your hamstrings and your abductors to kind of pull your pelvis into posterior pelvic tilt. And while you're doing that, that encourages the lower back muscles to kind of calm down, to relax, to tell them, hey, you don't have to do all the work. We have other helpers to do some work for you, to kind of take the load off of you. All right. So you have to give your body an opportunity, your brain an opportunity to sense this change, and for your body to be able to sense the change and also feel that this change is safe. That's very key. How you do that is with breathing. You have to be able to breathe in and out because breath is life. If you hold your breath, you're basically telling your brain we're in a very dangerous situation and get out of it as quick as possible. So you need to be able to breathe through full breath cycles in this. All right, what that does, it allows you to develop new neural reference centers in your body, indicating that we can get our bones in this position using new or unfamiliar muscles that you're not used to using, and we can be safe. It's okay. So that is why you need to. That is why your lower back is always hurting you. You always feel lower back with everything. You pick something, lower back. You reach something, it's lower back, lower back, lower back, lower back, lower back. You get everything is lower back. And eventually you just pull that pressure on it, it just gives out. And you're going to start generating pain. Then you're not going to be able to move as efficiently as you want. You're going to be kind of locked up. So you want to kind of unlock your lower back and your spine by oscillating and stuff like that. Okay? Yeah, so those are the 3 questions. If you have any other questions, please let me know. You can shoot me an email, but I will. Oh yeah, side note, someone asked me about falling forward and why they always have high shoes. Okay, shoes, about their shoes and their calves and stuff like that. So I'll squeeze that in here briefly. The reason people feel like when people have high shoes, when they have shoes, heel lifts like that, they're putting more pressure on their toes. Okay, so when you put more pressure on your toes, like I explained earlier, your body understands that you bring your center of gravity forward, and because gravity is pulling down and everything's forward, it pulls down. So you're going to have this perpetuation of falling forward, like I said earlier. So what you must do, the body must do, based off the brain, not most of the body, the brain, the vestibular system, kind of has to keep the eyes at the horizon. So it's going to upregulate different muscles not built to hold as posture, your calves, your quads, your jaw, your shoulder, your lower back. All these things are going to kick in, and they're going to try to keep you upright, and you're going to basically compensate different things. Right? You're not utilizing the muscles appropriately. So yeah, I squeezed that in and indicated that shoe lifts are another cause of people having wicked lower back. So the higher your heel lift, the more your brain senses that you're falling forward, the more your center of gravity is going forward, the more likely your lower back is tight. Okay, so all my ladies that wear high heel shoes, or anyone that wears high heel shoes, and it could be men as well, the more your shoe lift, this is go for the Olympic shoes as well. The more you have a heel lift, the more you're going to have the perpetuation of falling forward. Most likely you're going to have these thick sausages, I call them thick sausages. Your spinal erectus is going to be really, really thick and pronounced, and you're probably not going to be able to feel obliques as efficient as you could if you were to change the orientation of your pelvis. Okay, so that is it for today. This is 1/3 of the O.C.D crew. This is Otis. Like I said before, the O.C.D crew, we are working on season 2. We just have some other personal things that's going on that's kind of slowing the project down a little bit, but don't worry, we're definitely coming out with that. So yeah, so once again, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on my social media accounts. Well, not mine, it's the crew's. It's at O.C.D Versus. That's on Instagram. You can email me or any of the crew at ocdversus@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, O.C.D crew on Facebook as well. Like I said, leave a comment if you have any questions or anything you want me to go over next. And I will speak to you next time. Take care and be well, everyone.